Michael Penix Jr. has been announced as the Week 16 Falcons starting quarterback. His time is now. We've been waiting for Penix Jr. to get his shot. Kirk Cousins has not looked good. This is the future. This is the most NFL-ready QB from the 2024 NFL QB draft class. He is the most NFL-ready quarterback from the entire draft class, and he hasn't been able to play yet. Not as a starter. And that changes right now. Drake London's value
stock on the rise.
Goes up. Bijan Robinson's value
stock on the rise.
Get ready for an intense little reboot show because we were live right now on the main 8 p.m. show, and I ended it so I could have a compartmentalized video of this news so we could talk about just this information. The Fantasy Football Show, Michael Penix Jr. to the Moon Show.
To the moon.
Begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Michael Penix Jr. will start Week 16. The most NFL-ready QB in the 2024 quarterback class gets to finally command a team like his counterparts, and he potentially could have maybe a misstep. Maybe he's a rookie, we expect too much, and we end up getting disappointed. It's certainly a possibility, but I will say that I believe that this is a guy, Michael Penix Jr., that has the ability to become a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League and to give his signs and ability show that he's that type of player right away like JD5 is showing. JD5 is a top 5 quarterback for the future, and he's showing that now. He's playing at that level now. There's some sporadic play. I do expect Penix Jr. to have some good and bad moments, but he won't hit a rookie wall. JD5 was explosive right from the jump. He did amazing. JD5 was absolutely phenomenal from the jump. And then he hit a wall. It's a long season. The college season's much shorter than the pro season, so rookies tend to hit a wall around week 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Every player's different. Quarterbacks sometimes hit a wall differently. Penix Jr. gets to jump right into the mix, be the savior, the team rally around him. He's NFL ready. He's been watching it and absorbing. It has done him some good to watch and learn the game from the sideline. So it's not like he's coming in like a total rookie in week 1. He has a little bit of an advantage, but he walks in and he already lifts up Drake London. Kyle Pitts maybe returns to relevancy. Bijan Robinson will be leaned upon a lot because this team is going to want to make sure they're careful with Penix Jr. They don't want to ruin Penix Jr.'s confidence right from the jump. There will be a heavy dose of Bijan Robinson with this news. Start to AR5 Mahomes, Penix Jr. I maybe go Penix Jr. and Mahomes. You know, if Mahomes doesn't play or he's banged up or he looks like he's going to be really banged up and very iffy, then, you know, you start the other two. But I think I'd probably go Penix over AR5. But it is a close call. And I think much depends on the Mahomes news. But if Mahomes ends up playing and there's no question about him playing, I'm not worried about him getting hurt mid-game or anything. I think Mahomes will play through whatever. He just won't run as much. Although Mahomes with a bad ankle running for 20-yard scramble seems like a highlight we're probably going to see, actually, when you come to think of it. I'm curious to know what you guys think on this front. Do any of you believe Penix Jr. explodes out of the gate in week number 16? Do any of you believe this is going to be one of those situations where people are disappointed? Can we just also acknowledge this? He plays the New York Giants in week 16. The New York Giants. He couldn't be handed a better matchup. Michael Penix Jr. to start week 16 versus at home versus the New York Giants. Let me put that in the title here. This is a good game to be handed. He's not going against Baltimore. He's not going against a tough D. He's going up against the New York Giants, who are worn down. Now, they can play pretty decent football when they need to at times, okay? This is not necessarily something where we can't see this going strangely, but I believe that Michael Penix Jr. will probably explode onto the scene during his first start against a Giants team that is trying to very badly get into a number 1 or number 2 overall spot. They know what they're doing. They're trying to get the 1 or 2 pick. I don't know that they really want to win this game. Just like the Raiders didn't necessarily really want to win last week either. Because the difference between your franchise digging themselves out of a hole and having a remarkable franchise quarterback, the difference is 1 or 2 draft slots could mean you don't get Shador or you don't get Cam Ward. So maybe the Giants want to lose this game. I know I would. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to lose the game when you know you need one of those 2 quarterbacks to thrive, to rebuild this organization? Raiders, Giants. Flex 2, start Bucky, Tracy, Watson, Downs, Ridley. I'm starting Bucky and I'm starting Tracy out of those 2 options. Thank you, gaming. Appreciate you. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in. Ziggy, show me the backyard. What is going on?
Okay.
In my backyard. Ziggy, show me the driveway.
Okay.
What do we got going on here? All right, Ziggy off. Travis, you're live.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up? Yeah, the static's there, but I can't blame the static on you because I don't know if it would have happened for anybody that called in, but it is weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
It felt like it was pinned to rock out. What? I don't know.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Sorry,
I don't know. Travis, call back in. We can't hear you. Call back in. Let's see if it's even any better. Now I can't even hear you. Elijah, you're live from Cincy. Go.
Hey, Smitty, how you doing?
What's up, bro?
Are you starting Najee Harris or Tracy this week?
Najee Harris or Tracy? That's a tough call, bro.
I'm up by about 23 points.
I'd probably say, man, you're up by 23, huh? Let me see.
I have Bijan as well.
You're doing some kind of
By the way,
I assume you're
so
doing
happy
some kind of collective weeks 15, 16 playoff race or something. People are confused why
What'd
you're
you
up.
say?
Bro, I don't think you got to call in with less background noise, guys. If you can't hear me, then I think what I was saying is you're doing some sort of collective playoff race. Najee Harris had only 6 carries for 14 yards last week. He has a very tough matchup this week. I'd probably say, now I got no static. I got no static whatsoever. With Nelson, only Nelson on the line. Let me add Travis. I've got no static. I got no static with Travis now on the line with only Nelson. I don't know.
I was on mute, so I don't know.
Yeah, okay. And that other caller who I was talking to about this Najee Harris question, you can call back in, but you got too much background noise, so I can't hear a word you're saying, and you can't hear me, so I'm not going to make the audience sit there and weather through a what? So you got to call in when it's quieter or something. But Tracy or Najee, what are we doing, Travis? Tracy or Najee?
I don't know what Tracy did last week. Najee did last week. I lean Najee probably.
I don't, Joe. I don't know if that's Joe. You're. Oh, I think I kicked Joe on accident. Joe, I'm sorry. I thought Joe. I got a lot of background noise. What in the hell you guys doing? What in the hell you guys doing? Al, what's going on in the background, Al?
No, I'm on mute.
Is that Travis?
No, I was on mute until that, and then when that noise kicked in, I went back on mute.
I don't know. I heard someone talking in the background. I don't know. Good God, this is. I'm gonna end the phone line, guys. Come on. All right, Travis, go ahead. I don't know. That guy's gone. Forget his question. Let's go to Penix Jr. Forget that question. Penix Jr. to the moon. Let's talk about Penix Jr. only right now. Not your fantasy teams. I'm sorry, but this is a breaking Penix Jr. news. I'm not talking to you, Travis. And Al just hung up. He's like, damn it, I'm not going to get my fantasy question answered. Al, call in tonight. I'll be live tonight, but we're here to talk Penix Jr. Go ahead, Travis.
So I was going to ask you, do you think kind of a range for Penix? I mean, do you think you could play a little bit like a Jordan Love where, I mean, he could be really good, but, little inconsistency, but he can throw it, he can run it when he needs to, like a little similarity there. I think he's going to have a big game against the Giants. I think the Giants are flat out.
Yeah, it's definitely the best matchup.
After that, but.
It's definitely the best matchup he could have asked for this game, and I think that was in consideration. I think they were like, okay,
yeah,
they might have even thought about this last week, but they're probably saying to themselves, these two matchups here are a good place to insert, quote unquote, no pun intended, insert Penix into the situation in Vegas. You either insert Penix in Vegas or at home versus the Giants. And it's a great get your feet wet situation. Pause. A lot going on with this one.
And they also have two good running backs to, kind of lean on a little bit if there is a little bit of trouble, if he's inconsistent or something.
I think Bijan.
They can run the offense completely differently than a Kirk Cousins offense with him.
I think Bijan gets leaned on.
If that's what they want.
Bijan gets leaned on hardcore because they're gonna say, hey, let's give Penix Jr. as much, flexibility and room, and let's set up the pass. But I think Penix Jr. and Ron's back on the line right now. Ron, you can interject if you want. I think Ron is right. There is some, is he healthy? Did he ever get back to his full self? He clearly started the season not 100%, and that might have just triggered some other injuries. Aaron Rodgers and him are both coming back from the same Achilles tendon type of injury, and Aaron Rodgers is dealing with like 5 injuries right now. And I imagine Kirk Cousins has more than just, a sore Achilles and a, potential cat. I'm sure he's going through a lot, but the bottom line is he doesn't look good. He doesn't look good. And Penix Jr. being the most NFL-ready quarterback from his 2024 QB draft class makes me feel like if these other guys can step in and look pretty damn good right away, the most NFL-ready one coming from a potent, high-octane offense in college at Washington under Ryan Grubb, who's doing he's turning water into wine over in Seattle, given what he's dealing with at QB. I think Penix Jr. steps right in, and this is exactly what the Falcons need. I think he gives a huge spark. I can't sit here and say he's going to be a top 5 QB this week or anything like that. I'm trying to curb my expectations, but I believe he feeds everybody, and we start seeing a very potent offense. We start seeing an offense that we've expected to see the last couple of weeks. The offense you expect the Falcons to be against the Raiders last week when they barely scrape it out. We're going to see that team, I believe, under this guy's command. And he can run. He proved that at the Combine. A lot of people say he can't run.
Yeah.
He proved it at the Combine. He says, I can run. Ran very fast. Ziggy, what was Michael Penix Jr.'s 40 time?
The 40-yard dash is a metric used in American football.
Ziggy off. Ziggy off. Let me look it up.
Damn. I think it was 4.5. I think it might have been 4.5.
Yeah, something like that. Ron, go ahead, Travis, and then Ron. You were going to say something.
I was just going to say, I know a couple of people have said it as well, but this is very interesting for Kyle Pitts too, because Pitts was getting volume and he wasn't blowing doors or anything, but he was a solid tight end option for the beginning of the season. And if he starts to get 5, 6, 7 targets a game again, we'll see how they run the offense. He could be a good option again.
He ran a 4.46. That's right. Should have been a 4.4.
That's awesome.
Former Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. wasn't impressed with his 40-yard dash. Is 4.46. That, I mean, guys, for people to literally run their mouth about this kid not being able to run when he goes out and runs a 4.46, that's remarkable. That's a remarkable 40-yard dash. And he says he can run a 4.4. So he can scramble. Go ahead, Ron. Your poor boy Penix Jr. I'm sorry, your poor boy Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry. I know you are probably feeling a little something, here now.
I think a lot of it has to do with different type of offense that he has to run.
Yeah.
I think he performs a lot better in a play action type of offense, not in a non-play action type of offense.
We'll see what Penix Jr. does.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right.
You got to give Penix a chance at this point.
I think so. Joe, what are you thinking? You're live.
Hey, Smitty. Honestly, I like Penix Jr. I had a question about him with another quarterback, but I liked him coming out of college, honestly. Ever since the national championship, I've always liked him. Not like top 3, but top 5 this draft, I think.
Well, let's hope. I mean, there are really only 5 QBs. But I hear you. Yeah, I mean, look, he's a rookie. Hard to know, what's going to happen here. I'm not saying he goes out and he's a top 5 guy this week, but I think there's certainly a possibility that people are blown away. And I hope Scott Hansen, who this kind of falls out of the purview of what we, set up and talked about. I wish I had that. I think I have it here somewhere. I'll have to look for it, but I'll probably play it tonight. But Scott Hansen said that if Penix Jr., because I was talking him up when he was on the show in the offseason, he said if Penix Jr. is as good as I say he is, he'll not only mention it on the red zone during the game, like during a Penix Jr. moment, but he will come back on the show like that week and do a surprise guest appearance to talk about it. So and when we set it up, it was that he would be a top 10 quarterback. And then I said to him, well, what happens if he doesn't get in there till week 8? And he's like, that's fine, as long as he's playing at a top 10 level or whatever. And so entering week 16, I don't know how he's going to view that, but it'll be interesting if he says anything on the red zone. Go ahead real quickly. Anything else? Who was I talking to? Joe? Go. Anything else, Joe?
Yeah, the only question I had about Penix Jr. is I have Russell Wilson and Tua right now. Would you want to start Penix over either one of them next week?
Oh, man.
I think Tua's going against San Francisco, and Russell Wilson's going against Baltimore.
Guys, on the phone line, what do you think? I mean, that's kind of ballsy, but at the same time, the matchup is there for Penix Jr. It's not there for the other two guys.
Yeah, and Russell Wilson really struggled against Baltimore last game.
Especially with no George Pickens, it's hard to start him without Pickens.
You know what? I mean, you gotta be okay.
Didn't.
You gotta
struggle against Baltimore.
200 yards.
No, not with the Baltimore thing last game without Pickens.
He struggled against.
Baltimore, he did decent.
Yeah, he struggles against. Baltimore doesn't have the greatest defense.
No, I know.
Russell looks good against Baltimore, Cincinnati, any teams with good defense. He doesn't look as good.
I mean, yeah.
Pickens for sure out.
I'm not. Pickens is trending toward out, yes, but it's not a lot.
Russell Wilson had 6 points against Baltimore, 200 yards passing with a pick.
Yeah, he just had
That's all I was saying.
It was all rushing touchdowns.
And not to mention, last week, Russell Wilson had 1 touchdown and 128 yards. Like, he was not good last week. So
No, because he faced a good defense.
That's kind of everything fair, though.
I know, but what we're saying, Ron, is I don't.
Baltimore has a terrible pass defense, though.
Yeah, but I think they play a little better than their stats show when they're in situations like this. But we'll see.
I'm just saying, even with the bad pass defense, he didn't do much against them. They ran it. But.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
You're saying what? You're saying what though?
And especially after that Cincinnati game.
What are you saying though?
He's like, oh, Russ, but he's not really. When he's given a tough defense, he doesn't do as good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess chat vote Tua, Russell Wilson, or Michael Penix Jr. Was that the quarterback trio that you have, bro?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Vote on that in the chat, please. Penix Jr., Tua, or Russell Wilson. Thank you, Joe. Monitor the live chat. Matt, you're live. Keep it as snappy as you can, pal.
All right, Smitty, I got a question here. I got Mahomes, Bo Nix, or Drake May.
Thanks for being selfish during a Michael Penix Jr. show. But okay. Bo Nix, Drake May, and who? Mahomes?
Yeah.
If Mahomes is playing, I'm starting Mahomes. But I don't like Bo Nix on Thursday Night Football against the Chargers in LAC. I'm not saying he has a horrible game. I'm not trying to predict that, but it's like Thursday games are not good to us, bro. I just don't think I like that.
What about Drake May chasing those points though in Buffalo?
Maybe a little bit better than the Thursday night game, I guess. Or you pick up Penix Jr.
And what about
you insert
too selfish here?
Yeah,
if I'm able to pick him up.
I'm going Mahomes, but I think that if you're dealing with those other calls, let me ask Travis because he's a New England Patriot fan. I want to see if he's gonna have a little bit of a tendency to lean toward Drake May, and if he's not wanting Drake May over Penix Jr., then we know most people wouldn't. Travis, are you starting Drake May?
I'm not starting Drake May much at all in any situation just because of the team around him. It's so hard to know what's going to go on. And Buffalo can just blow them out, you know.
Well, Hollywood Brown might play too.
2-point favorite.
Well, yeah, Mahomes is a lock if he's playing, but in your scenario. But, I mean, maybe you go Penix Jr., bro. It's a risky move, bro. It's a risky move. You got to understand what you're doing. You can't come back in here later and go, that was a dumb call. It's like a highest risk, highest reward move you could play against the Giants. Who the hell knows what he does?
Yeah, like May will probably get to 15 points, but I can't promise you any more than that. So...
All right.
Yeah, that Thursday night game scares me. Thanks, boys.
All right, later, Matt. Let's go over to Nelson from Texas. Nelson, you're live.
Hey, man, am I crazy to want to start Michael Penix Jr. in Week 17 over Jalen Hurts in case the Eagles rest him? Just due to like broken finger and like whatever he's been having going on with his ankle.
I mean, let's wait until we find out if he's benched, like for the week to rest.
No, he's not.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts isn't benched or nothing.
I know he's not. You don't have to tell me whether he's benched.
Oh, my bad.
What I'm saying, bro, is in Week 17 is what you asked. That's in the future. We have no idea what's going on in Week 17. If for any reason he's playing, you don't sit Jalen Hurts. You just don't. But let's wait and see what that landscape looks like. But like, yeah, you're not sitting a starting Jalen Hurts because he has a broken finger that he's been playing with and been playing great with. He's fine, but
they still have a chance to get the number 1 seed.
Yeah, so the landscape looks good, but let's deal with Week 17 and Week 17, bro.
I would just hate for them to be like, oh, this game's a blowout. Let's just rest
him
for the second half or something.
Yeah, Nelson, you're breaking up. We can't hear you, Nelson. I'm sorry. Selfish phone line call. Steven from Iowa, you're live.
What's up? So, love that Penix is getting the start. Where does it go for Kirk Cousins? You think 49ers are eyeing him pretty big right now?
I think that that's Shanahan's favorite quarterback. The only thing you'd have going on with that is remember when we thought maybe there would be some, even though the dead cap would have been insane to trade Herbert. It was like $100 million or something to trade Herbert to the Vikings. But remember how we were like, Harbaugh wants J.J. McCarthy. That's his boy. And then Harbaugh didn't even really mention it. He was like, I came here because of Herbert. I love Herbert. Herbert's the greatest, he now thinks Herbert's the greatest quarterback of all time. But Harbaugh loves all of his quarterbacks. But remember how he thought we'd feel kind of that weird, like desire to go get his guy? Maybe we end up not hearing anything about it, and Shanahan's like totally focused on Brock Purdy, and he doesn't even look back. You also got to understand that Kirk Cousins is older. Kirk Cousins is playing bad.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins will cost draft capital. Kirk Cousins has a massive massive contract. There's a lot going on there. So it's not as easy as, Kirk Cousins is a free agent. Let's bring him in, and now we've got a crazy scenario going on. This is a whole different dynamic. I think that Shanahan is going to look at it, look at it, talk about it. But at the end of the day, I think Brock Purdy is probably not going to be elsewhere. I think it'll be Brock Purdy in San Francisco. But it will be interesting to see what happens. I guess you got to look at it like Kirk Cousins' dead cap is so bad that they wait a year to maybe move him. And at that point, he'll be older. I don't know if he'll have any value. I don't know. You got to ask yourself, like, does a team even see him as a starter? Just because he's getting paid over $100 million doesn't mean that a team's going, he's got to be good. Like, does a team look at him right now and go, crap, he fell off. I'm not trading draft capital for this guy on this contract. I don't know. Does he? The only thing you could say is, like, does he get cut? Which I don't think he would, given the dead cap and the guaranteed money that's involved in this next year. I think maybe the next year is where their potential out is to eat some money but get out of it. It's really a 2-year commitment to Kirk Cousins, if I remember correctly, on his contract. So I think he stays as one of the best backup quarterbacks in their mind in the league, and they see what's what with Penix Jr. But it will be interesting to see what happens if Penix Jr. explodes. Then maybe we hear a little more about what could you do. Like if you massage this situation around a little bit. No pun intended with the Penix Jr. involved. All right, anything else real quick, Steven?
No, not really. I have a feeling that this was kind of the whole situation the Falcons were pretty much game planning for. I think they knew at some point they would be starting Penix. They know these are guys for the future going, and I think they definitely had plans to definitely work him in this season. It's a little later than expected, but I think this was all kind of probably thought out prior. So,
all right, bro.
The guy, man, and you called it, dude. So,
all right, thanks, Steven.
Nice to see you.
We'll see you later, bro.
All right, later, bro.
Ron Navy, what else you got?
Nothing right now. Eating supper.
You eating a steak?
Oh, actually, pork chops.
Pork chops, okay.
One of those thick pork chops.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, Ron Navy to the moon. Appreciate you, bro. Sorry I never made your Penix Jr. video. But here, I got your Penix Jr. video.
No, you never did.
I finally made it. Here it is.
Take a big lap. We don't need your head mask coming back now. Take a big lap.
All right, Ron, appreciate you. Later.
Later.
Travis, anything else?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think with this game against the Giants, I'm not all that worried about him not playing well. I think the bigger risk is them just being able to run the ball at times, like you said, Leon Bijan and even Algier too, and they run it 38, 40 times, and that might limit him a little bit. But
yeah,
I think he's got a chance of a really good game.
Yeah, I'm not going to be expecting, I know we're giving some Penix Jr. answers, just some desperate QB calls. I want to make it very abundantly clear. I'm not here live right now as a start Penix Jr. in fantasy football 1 QB. However, you're in a super flex. Guess what? Penix Jr. now climbs all the way, and I got to move him up. He climbs all the way to maybe... I mean, you could super flex and 1 QB he climbs a lot, but in super flex he would be potentially right, at the top with Nick's AR5. But, I don't think I think in Superflex he's probably available in, I would say, like 50% or more, maybe 70% of leagues. So race to your Superflex waiver wire and grab him. He could be a phenomenal play for you. But this is not a episode to be like, hey, everybody, get Penix Jr. into your 1 QB fantasy football lineups. I'm not really there yet. I'm just merely saying this helps elevate London. It helps elevate Pitts. It helps elevate Mooney. Helps elevate Bijan. It helps lean on Bijan more. Yeah. And then maybe in a couple games we're there. But certainly in desperation play moves, I don't mind using Penix Jr. We clearly, figured that out. And I didn't think I was going to say that on this live stream. But some of your scenarios, it makes sense to use them. But this is more about watching this kid's career begin. And if he can win this game with Bijan with 150 yards and a touchdown, 1 touchdown pass, 245, 0 INTs, like, that's exciting. That will be an exciting start for this young kid. Doesn't need to be a 4-touchdown game. Yes, Paul. You're live.
Yo, what do you think his ceiling is?
I mean, this game or overall?
Like just overall, like throughout the career. Like what's his player comp?
Top 7 to 12, a big wide range, but 7 to 12. I don't put him in there with could he be as good as like a Jalen Hurts someday? Sure, I wouldn't rule that out, but like if I'm being safe, I'd say 7 to 12. Give him a big wide range of ability, and I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but I also don't want to this is my boy. I don't want to leave him out of the of a bold predicting, call here. So I'm going to say 7. I think 7 to 12 is pretty good. That's a pretty bold statement. I mean, considering you got.
Given
Go ahead. No, that's right.
Given the fact that Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, they're all 24. They're all older, and Penix is up there in age too. So it's given the QBs this year that are a bit older, they've been successful to say the least,
And some of that, some of that has to do with the age, maybe, and some of it's ironic coincidence that it's just, look, college quarterbacks, they step into the pros at an even level. They're not looking up at a tall road, a very, very bumpy road where they've got to try and come out on top. You can literally slide right into an NFL offense very differently now than you used to. And honestly, when people say look at how bad Peyton Manning was his rookie year, look how bad Josh Allen was his rookie year, to explain that Caleb's still going to be good, I don't know that I look at it that way anymore. I think as a rookie, if you look like trash, this is not Josh Allen's year. This is not 5, 6, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, when quarterbacks could look like trash and need time. They step in and look great right away. That's why the Colts made a decision to bench AR5, but I don't think they did that fairly, because I think you give somebody a full season before you start to really try and predict whether they have the ability to rebound and do what other quarterbacks have done. And AR5 had only played 2 full games prior to this season, so really this was his rookie year, and you bench him in the middle of it was ridiculous. But I think Caleb, I'm not feeling, you don't bench him. You've got to keep him in there and keep developing him. But I don't see a guy that is going to develop like Josh Allen or Peyton Manning or whoever you want to use. This is a different league, and he looks like trash. Yes, his offensive line's garbage, but I told you it was going to be. Yes, his offensive play calling is horrible, but I told you it would be. That was all part of the prediction of Caleb failing. And we even said that if JD5 went to Chicago, he wouldn't be doing what he's doing either. So it is part landing spot, but guess what? You can't separate situation from player. And the Bears organization does not know how to develop quarterbacks, does not know how to bring in head coaches or offensive coordinators, and they don't realize that the root of their problem right now is Ryan Poles. And so Ryan Poles, the guy that set up everything that everybody's complaining about, Ryan Poles is responsible. And they're going to keep him. It sounds like. They shouldn't. Ryan Poles should be fired immediately. He's the one that set all of this up. And you're going to use everybody else as a scapegoat. Man, this is going to be exciting. Yeah, Bijan to the moon. Bijan goes up in value with this.
On the rise.
I can't promise you Kyle Pitts goes up in value, but I can't imagine he doesn't get an uptick. I don't know how much. Drake London. I mean, look, London and Cousins had a good rapport at times, for sure, right? Especially at the beginning of the year. But lately, it's been like you don't even want to play London. And he scored last week, and you thanked your lucky stars. And even though he scored and had what do you have, 40 or 50 yards and a touchdown, Penix Jr. only had that one touchdown and double London's yardage. So London had 50% of his yardage total. You can't sustain off that. So London owners got extremely lucky in week 15. And how could it not get better? How could it not get better? Unless this guy's an absolute bust and he's nothing like I thought he would be, it's going to get better. Especially against the Giants.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what he does. I think he's going to do pretty well.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, Travis, any final thoughts?
Did you say you'll be back later?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I should be.
I don't. Well, I'll ask you quick again. You're still starting Otten and Kincaid over Strange, right? Or would you think about Strange?
I don't think so. I think Kincaid. I mean, we got the waiver board right here, and Strange is above Kincaid. If Otten, another super chatter asked Otten versus Strange, and I said, you know what? If we put Otten on this board, which he's not available in enough leagues, I would probably, maybe he is now. Maybe he is actually available in enough leagues. What's his availability? Maybe he is. He actually might be.
He is. I don't think he is. He's pretty.
Okay.
80%. 77% owned, so 23% available.
Okay. I would say Otten is higher risk for 2 points, but higher upside for 18, whereas Strange is probably 8, 9, 10, 11, very safe.
So you have Strange over Kincaid right now, then?
Yeah. Yep. Right now.
All right. Thanks.
All right, later, Travis. That could change. I hope it changes. All right, later. Aaron with a $20 hauler. Appreciate you, Aaron. One, lost Monty, need a running back. Connor, Justice Hill, waiver wire. Ford, Algier, Javante, Miller, Hunt. Very easy call. Ford by a mile, as you can see here. He's the best running back pickup of the week because the guaranteed production is there. So that's an easy call. Absolutely easy call. After that, I don't know. I guess Algier because he could punch in a touchdown. Is DK droppable? No, not for. I like McMillan. I'm not saying not to pick up McMillan. I'm not dropping DK. Number one, you don't want to give somebody DK Metcalf because if he does, and he is capable of it, if he does have a great game and then you lose because of it, you don't want to send DK out there on the waiver wire to get picked up. I'd grab him in a second. Even though I might not use him, I would grab him and then decide later. Please rank Jennings, JSN, Hopkins, Ray, Thielen, Coleman, Worthy, Waddle. Waddle's injured. I would probably say JSN. I still think Jennings is going to be a good play. They got to throw to him. So I'll probably say JSN, Jennings, and I guess Thielen if you want safety, even though he didn't exactly bring you safety last week. I think he gets a lot of targets, but Hopkins is higher risk, higher reward. So Jennings and JSN I lock in. If Waddle was, what's Waddle's status? As of right now, I mean, Waddle was injured bad in the game, but knee day-to-day, avoided major injury. I just don't even trust him, even if he went out there banged up. I would say, Thielen's your safe play. Hopkins is your high-risk, high-reward. But if you have DK Metcalf, I'm starting Jennings, JSN, and DK Metcalf, probably. I know that's not what you want to hear. I know that's not really feeling like a safe move, but you hedge your bets in a way, and I do think that Seattle can still do some damage this week. What are your thoughts on these wide receivers going forward? QB, going forward, right-handed QB to left-handed QB. Even Jerry Rice had to get used to it. What are your thoughts on these wide receivers going forward? Right hand. I don't know what you're saying here, Superfish. I appreciate your $5 hauler, but there's no receivers listed. Appreciate you. MC. Yo, and by the way, Superfish, again, hats off to your Jonnu Smith call. Unbelievable bold prediction on the board up here. It's going to absolutely win. I don't even know that I'll vote on it. We'll look at all of them, but I don't even think there's a vote. I think Superfish just wins the contest. Yo, Knicks or Penix Jr. I'm going Penix Jr. because Knicks plays Thursday night. I don't like the matchup. I don't like Thursday night, and I think Penix Jr.'s matchup against the Giants is phenomenal. Hunter Henry, Ferguson, or Juwan. Probably, I guess, Hunter Henry for safety, MC, but that's a tough call. Penix versus the Giants or JD5. You can't sit JD5. Not for Penix Jr. Not in semifinal week, bro. You can't do that. Matchup at all. Start 2. BTJ, Neighbors, London. BTJ and probably Neighbors for safety. London, higher risk over Neighbors. Higher reward, but higher risk for sure. BTJ and Neighbors is probably your safe play. But, man, I don't know. I'd want a piece of London this week, too. That's tough, you know. Chat, can we vote on Neighbors or London this week? Neighbors or London, vote for our boy. Round 2 of the playoffs. Penix Jr. or Caleb. Penix Jr. Easy. Caleb's like, you know how I feel about Caleb, bro. Come on. Penix Jr. or Murray. Honestly, Penix Jr. But you got to be okay if this goes awry, Curry. Like, I kind of like Kyler a little bit more this week than I did last week, but I'm going to go Penix Jr. Thielen or Shakir, go Shakir. It's a little bit safer. Uncle, pick wide receiver 2, BT or Cup. Go BT. You have to go BT. Jay with a $20 hauler. Jay to the mother freaking send him to Mars.
To Mars.
Jay, appreciate you. And Jay, you know what? I'll give you the proper celebration as well.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you, Jay. Judy, Myers, DK, or Thielen as my wide receiver 2. Judy, Myers, DK. Assuming DK's healthy, I'm going to go DK. Judy, that quarterback situation scares the hell out of me. Although Judy, I still think Judy does okay, but I think I'd go DK. As long as DK is playing. You know? Also, Pitts or Muth. I'm going to go Muth for safety, especially if Pickens is out. But if Pickens plays, then maybe I do go Pitts. But Pitts is interesting. If your gut tells you Pitts over Muth, go Pitts. If you think Penix Jr. is going to thrive so much that Pitts rebounds right away, I have no problem backing your call if you do that. But Muth is a safer play if you need safety. Devontae Smith, Myers, Tillman, Downs, Thielen, pick 2 for this week. I'm going to go Devontae Smith and probably Myers for safety. Thielen. You know what? Yeah, Myers for safety. Downs over Myers if you want a big swing and you're willing to risk the biscuit. But you have to be willing to risk it, bro. Appreciate the super chat. Drop 1. BT, Hopkins, Debo. Hopkins, I guess. No. I'm not dropping BT. Well, I don't know why you'd even ask that. But of the other two, with Hollywood coming back, part of me wants to say Hopkins. But, like, do I trust Debo? No. But I guess Hopkins. Few decisions for a big playoff game. Mahomes, Love, or AR5. I'd probably go... Jordan... Love at home. I think we got to look at weather a little bit more later in the week just to see how bad it's going to be. But Love right now at home versus the Saints could be a good day for him. But we might have to switch that out. If Mahomes is playing, I'd probably go Mahomes if weather looks like a problem. Crafter, Strange by a hair. And 2 of Garendo, Tracy, JT. Give me JT and Garendo. I think the Giants get phased out a little bit, and Tracy still gets the ball thrown to him, but I think they play from behind. Give me JT as a revenge game for that touchdown debacle, and give me Garendo, assuming Garendo's healthy and ready to go. Appreciate your super chat. Appreciate you. Start 2 QBs, Tua, Stafford, or Penix. I'm going to go Penix Jr. and probably Stafford. What are your thoughts on the Falcons wide receivers going right-handed Cousins to left-handed? Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I think sometimes people make too big of a thing of that. They've been practicing. If you remember back in the early part of the offseason, they were splitting reps, Cousins and Penix Jr. These receivers have been catching the football from Penix Jr. all year. This is not like a, hey, Penix Jr., get over here. Hey, guys, meet Penix Jr. He's going to throw the football to you for the first time. They've been literally, splitting reps in camp and stuff like that. They're totally ready to go. Not worried about that at all. You never know. Maybe a drop happens or something because I don't know. Even Jerry Rice had to get used to it. Yeah, I mean, I think they have gotten used to it, though, by now. Because of the nature of how they split the work in the offseason, I think it'll be fine. Start Smart or Schultz, because let's go Smart. I think it's a smart play. Hendricks, I think Schultz is okay, but I think Smart's fine. I think it's a good play. Strange and Smart are pretty good plays. Pollard, IG, Isaac Grendo. Pollard, Isaac Grendo, Sharps, DJ, Devontae Smith, 2 running back 2 and a flex. I'm going to go Sharps and Garendo if both are healthy and playing and starting. If Sharps doesn't start, then I just switch over to Devontae Smith really easily. But I go with both backs if they're starting. Very easy call. Guys, appreciate you all. I'll be back tonight, most likely. Penix Jr. to start. Your boy Smitty. Top 5% ranking this year in 2024. We finished inside the top 5% on Spotify video. So we had a top 5% show. Most watched show on Spotify video. Top 5%. That's insane. So thank you all for that. If any of you have never, watched the show on Spotify, make sure you get on over there, search for the Fantasy Football Show video show on Spotify. We were the first sports video show ever on Spotify. They reached out and said, hey, we'd like to run you through our beta video show program here. And this was the first sports show, the Fantasy Football Show, to ever grace Spotify's video waves. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all later. Penix Jr. to the moon. We got two quick super chats that came in late here. Vlad dropped one, says, lost one league because of Jameis. Ha ha. Still got it in another league. Should I start Jaden McLaurin against Philly or pick up Penix Jr. and pivot? No, you can't bench JD5. Pivot for McLaurin. Do I start DJ? No. Vlad, what are you doing? What are you doing even considering benching McLaurin, let alone JD5 and McLaurin? You're way overthinking this, bro. This is what gets people in trouble. They get in championship week and they start coming up with these weird ideas. This is for your own good.
Take a big lap.
Marquez, appreciate you. Team is Love, Achan, Chase Brown, Lamb, Collins, Jonu, Higgins, London, bench Mahomes, Reed, JT, Gus. Should I make any substitutions? If the weather's really bad, you're going to want to swap Mahomes and Love out, assuming Mahomes is good to go. Collins, Jonu, Chase Brown, Achan, London. No, that's a good. You got it right. I mean, JT and London, you could waver on that a little bit as a flex, but no, I think you got it right. Just watch that weather. That's the only thing you got to worry about. GLVS, appreciate you. Choose one flex, wide receiver, Hopkins, Downs, Gus, Edwards, Waddle. Waddle's banged up. Downs for upside if you're okay with getting 0 points, but could have 18. And Hopkins for a steady 10 points. I think that you got to pick your poison. Do you need steady Eddie? Or do you want to go high risk, high reward with the understanding that Downs could either get you 18 to 20 points, or he could get you 2 touchdowns, or he could get you nothing. See you all tonight. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday, live when big news breaks. Jesse says, don't know what to do about Debo, starting Tillman, Hollywood, or Stone Smart over him. No, not with those scenarios, bro. You got to go with Debo in that scenario. Unless Hollywood gets like anointed this, he's a starter and there's going to be no limitations. If any of you try and drop a super chat on the way of me hitting this end button, make sure you leave it in the comments of the video, not the live stream. Deuce.